Okay guys, so welcome to Life on Turkey Lane. As I mentioned in a previous video, I am remaking a little dresser for my daughter's room. And so I'm getting ready to paint that. Let me point you down and show you. I'm in kind of my makeshift craft room, or the spare bedroom, that's not completely ready yet. But I'm going to point you down and show you the little dresser. Now this, when I bought it like 15 years ago or so, it was complete solid oak. But I bought it for my baby boy's room at that time. And decided when he got to be toddler age, he wanted, if you remember the Cars movie, he wanted his room to be done in Cars. And so this little dresser was the perfect size to make a, I painted it red, and we made it look, and I put rollers on the bottom, like little wheels on the bottom of the legs, and to make it look like a tool chest that mechanics use. So that's why it was painted red. And then after that, he wanted it blue, so it's been painted blue. And now it's going to be used in my daughter's room, and painted black. And actually, you can see, I'm going to turn you around here to look at the drawers. I had taken the red paint off the drawers before we painted it blue, but some of it stuck there. But anyway, my daughter wants a two-tone look also. And so these drawers, the fronts of them are going to be sanded down and clear coated, so we can get that red off of there. But anyway, there's the drawers. And I don't want to bore you with all these painting videos. Now this, we're going to paint this part black, and like I said, the drawers are going to be left natural. They're going to be sanded down and left natural. Anyway, since this has previously been primed and painted a couple of times now, it doesn't have to be primed again. And so we're not going to be doing any of that. I had some black paint at home. I really wanted a satin finish, and I did not have any black satin paint, but I did have black semi-gloss and black flat. So I have mixed close to equal parts of both, and we're going to see how that does, and it's just going to have to be okay. So anyway, I've got that here in this cup. And so let me put on some gloves because I don't want my hands to be completely black by the time I'm finished. I know you can't see me really over here, but and these gloves are my daughter's medical gloves. She's a certified nurse's aide, and they're a little bit small for me, but we're gonna use them anyway. She's really petite. She was born premature. 1 pound and 1 ounce at birth. And she's still pretty petite. So her gloves are just a tad bit small for me, but they'll work. If it just keeps some of the paint off my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to pour. And this may look a tad blue when it goes on, but it will dry black. And I believe I mixed up enough to do a full 2 coats. So let me just start in the front here. I don't want to sit kind of in front of you, but anyway, I don't know if you guys enjoy these kind of videos or not. This is not my favorite thing to do. I will just tell you that. I have done so much painting. Some people must think it's my favorite thing to do because I've had to do so much of it, but it's been out of necessity, because I just can't afford to go out and buy everything I want. And I'm sure many of you are like that. But anyway, this is not my most favorite thing to do. I just do it because I need to. So I'm not an expert at it by any means. I don't like doing chalk painting. As you can see, I was going to do chalk paint on the pantry cabinets, and the brand I bought just wasn't covering good. But I am not a patient person. I should be, but I am not a patient person, and the waxing and stuff that you have to do and the buffing and stuff that you have to do on the chalk painted furniture is just not for me. So most all the furniture I've ever painted, I use satin paint and satin latex, and that's what I use. So now I do have a chalk painted piece in my kitchen, but that's one I bought that somebody else did. So got a little bit too much paint on that roller for this front here. So let me just dab some of that off up there. She bought hardware at Hobby Lobby yesterday, and it's kind of now these drawers have never had hardware on them, so I'm going to have to measure and drill the holes for the hardware, but she wanted some kind of like country farmhouse style looking hardware, and so we found some yesterday that I think is really cute. It's going to do great for her room. Later on, and now her room is nowhere near put together because we moved in here about 2 years ago, and about a year ago I hurt my back really bad helping build the chicken house. And so I haven't really, besides getting the living room and kitchen and the pantry, or the, well, it was my craft room, but it's the sunroom area, besides getting that all painted, that's the only things that I've really been able to do on the house as far as any kind of remodeling or redoing of it. And so her room's not finished, and I don't even know that we're going to paint it. I think we're just going to try to clean the walls up as good as possible and go from there, because I'm still not up to doing any painting of walls. So, anyway, but I will take you in there especially when we put this dresser in there, and show you her bed. Hopefully this color black is going to match her bed. She's got a day bed in her room, and it's kind of a farmhouse style and in black. We found it on the marketplace. For I think $100, I think we paid for it. So it's really cute. I did put paper on the ground down here. Well, you really can't see it. I put paper and wood underneath the legs, so that way I don't get any paint on the floor. I should have put some underneath the middle down here in the back and the bottom, but I don't think I'm going to have any drip problems here. You know, the Bible tells us, ladies, that we should be like the Proverbs 31 woman, you know, that takes care of her household, that's entrepreneurial, or you know, that is frugal. And so there you go. Painting furniture may not be your favorite thing, but if it saves your family money instead of buying something new, then you should try to do that, I believe. Now, don't get me wrong, I like new things, and I have bought new things, furniture-wise and stuff. But on some of these pieces that, like, this is good quality furniture. It's solid oak, like I said, it was vintage when I bought it. It's solid oak, so it's a good piece of furniture. And so that's why I keep painting it over for whatever situation or area that we want to use it in, because I already paid money for it. I only paid $50 for it when I first bought it, but it's already bought and paid for, and it's a good solid piece of furniture that I can use over and over again like this. But I believe that a woman, like the Bible says, that she should look to the ways of her household to benefit her household. And so that's what I try to do, to be frugal and to benefit us in those ways. Now, if you've ever painted any furniture, you'll know that the first coat always takes the most paint. The second coat doesn't really take that much. It'll glide right on and won't use as much. I believe that I made up enough of this to do both coats, so we're going to hope and pray that we did. And we can get this done with what I've made up. So anyway, a woman should look well to the ways of her household. And I really think that all these people who are doing the chalk painting and making over nice pieces of furniture, I think that's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with reusing stuff to make it suit your family or to even make money off of it. I mean, these people are selling these pieces if they've done a good job on them. I think that's wonderful and fantastic. They're making some extra income for their family by doing that. Like I said, I don't have the patience for the chalk painting stuff, but I do like the finish. I like the way they look. So if you can do that, and you have the patience to do that, and I think that's great. And maybe someday when I get to retire, which is going to be many years from now, maybe I'll have more tolerance and patience and time to be doing stuff like that. But for now, I'm just doing this. One more paint in my tray here. And like I said, this will take 2 coats for sure. I'm going to look at it after this first coat, and even though it's going to be sparse and I'm going to see blue through it, I'm going to look at the sheen to see if I like the sheen. If not, I'll try to make some adjustments before I put the second coat on. So I want it to have a little bit of shine, but I don't want it to have as much shine as a semi-gloss paint would give it. So anyway, this is not what I had planned for this weekend. She never even mentioned it until earlier this week when I was getting ready to paint on the doors of the pantry thing, and she's like, oh, I need a little dresser for my bedroom, and she said, I really don't want to have to go out and buy one. And I thought, well, I got this one in the spare room for right now that we can use and paint up for you. And she said, yeah, that'll work. Well, I didn't know she was going to want me to do it now. So, but anyway, she's impatient. Okay, so I got the first coat on. And of course, you can still see a little bit of blue left where I didn't go all the way in the drawer area. And that's fine because that's going to be covered up with the drawers. So, and I may touch that up later, but I've got the first coat on. I'm going to let that dry and see how I like the sheen. If it looks okay, we'll go from there. If I need to make it a little more shiny, I'll add some semi-gloss paint to it. And if I need it a little duller, I'll add a little more of the flat paint. So anyway, I'll be back in a little while. Okay guys, so I have the second coat of black paint on this little dresser that I'm redoing. And now, and I didn't have to adjust the paint. It's kind of the sheen that I'm looking for, so that's good. However, I do want to kind of not necessarily sand the top of it, but I'm just going to kind of smooth it down some. And when you're redoing furniture, if you just want a real light sand and you don't want to use like a gritted sandpaper, you can actually use like a brown paper bag, or I've got some brown craft paper here that I folded up. And while it won't necessarily sand the finish, it will smooth it out some. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to go across this, the top of this dresser here. And just smooth this finish just a little bit. And I don't have to do it a whole lot. I'm just going to go ahead and just lightly do this. And I'm not even going to go across the sides. I'm just going across the top. It's going to kind of smooth it down. Not really even, I don't know how to describe it. It's not really going to sand it or even make it real smooth. It's just going to level out the finish a little bit. For one, when I used the roller, I actually did a third coat on this part of the top of it, right there, and it left it kind of where it's a little bit, it was a little bit different looking than the rest of it. So if I go across the whole top of it with this paper, and probably actually a brown paper bag is a little bit better. It just kind of smooths it out just a little bit. I'm going to get a piece of cloth and go over it with a little piece of cloth. And I can still see when I look into the light that there's just a little bit different look to the one side there. So, but otherwise, I think it looks okay. Okay, so anyway, so I've got the second coat on and I just went over the top a little bit, kind of give it a more finished look. And then I'm going to put it in her room. So I've got the base of the dresser in my daughter's room. So her room is very, very, very tiny, and it's not clean right now. She's got a kind of a mess, but there's her day bed. And so we wanted to paint the dresser black to kind of go with it. And we're going to get her some new bedding and do some things on the wall and get some new curtains or some kind of curtain for her. But anyway, so there's a start. And like I said, we've got the base of the dresser painted. It's looking really good. And I'm going to start tackling the drawers here. Hey everybody, so it's a beautiful night and I have decided to sand the drawers of this dresser outside on the deck. Now our deck is not finished. I mean, the deck is finished, but it's in the process of being painted. So you're going to see that our deck boards are pretty bare. But we've had to wait for the rain to completely stop and stuff, and we're waiting for it to dry out before we can actually do all the painting and stuff. But so I'm sanding the drawers out here, and now this is going to be a little bit noisy, but it's all right. I'm about finished up with this drawer. I got to do this little edge here. Let me aim you down so you can kind of see everything better. There we go. I think that's pretty good. And I need to talk to my husband if he's out here. But anyway, so now I cut my one little piece of sandpaper a little bit too short and it wouldn't fit the thing, but it's working okay. Okay, actually I'm going to stop and I'm going to change my paper here. I messed up and I didn't buy full sheets of paper. I bought these little kind of like strips things, and they're too narrow for my thing. Well, there's my husband walking through the house. So anyway, I'm going to take one of these and add on to this one. Yeah, I had to, she got a hold of Kayla's sweeteners. She didn't eat any of the sweetener, but she tore the package up and everything, so. Anyway, yeah, crisis for the day. Our dog likes to get in our daughter's room and tear stuff up. And she got Kayla's box of little sweetener packets out and tore. Luckily, she didn't get into the sugar part of it, but she tore the box up and made a mess. And so I've scolded her, and she's in her bed. So anyway, crisis diverted. Anyway. Okay, so at first I'm using this 80 grit sandpaper. Now, if you know anything about sanding, or maybe you don't, but the lower the number, the coarser the grit. So I started out and I'm sanding the finish off with this 80 grit paper, and I've got just a couple little places on here that I want to go over just a little bit more, and then I will go to larger numbers, which means the finer grit, and the finer grit you go, the smoother that this will be. That looks pretty good. This other drawer over here behind me. And this is a messy job. I've got sawdust all over, or varnish dust, I should say, all over my skirt. But you'll see in this picture, these drawers, when I first painted them red, they have a little bit of red paint still and little bits on there. So I'm getting all that off, as well as the finish on this wood, because we want it to look more antiqued. So like I said, this is a really good dresser. I think I paid like $50 for it about 15 years ago, 16 years ago, and we've used it. It was in a baby's room, and my son, as he was growing up, it's been painted a couple different times and stuff, so it's been well used, but it's a good piece of furniture, so we're going to just remake it over for what we need at this time again. Okay, I don't want you to have to watch me sand all night long. I'm going to just turn this paper around here. The grit I have underneath is a kind of a lower, or a finer grit, and so I didn't really have to switch it out right this minute, but my coarser grit is wore out, and I don't think I have any more of it. I don't, because this pack only came with two sheets of the coarse grit and 2 sheets of each one, and I've already gone through my coarsest grit yet, so okay, so I'm going to finish sanding this drawer with this coarse grit and get it down to it usually don't take that long, but like I said, I had to go to a little finer grit, so it's not going to come off as quick. But I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Okay, so they're sanded down. I've used 4 different grits till I got to the smoothest one. And so these are sanded down, and now I'm just going to use a tack cloth to wipe them off a little bit and get them ready. I think I'm going to use some like furniture wax on it to give it like a clear coat and make them, you know, where they're water and dirt proof or whatever, and then we'll go from there, and I'll show you the next step in a little bit. Well, hello everybody, welcome to Life on Turkey Lane. Today, happy Memorial Day. Today I've gotten a little bit of time. I've had to do some housework and different things, and I'm going to wax these drawers for this dresser makeover. So let me point you down here. Now I will say, hang on just a minute, I will say I couldn't find my paste wax. However, I do think that paraffin wax works better on raw wood, and so I did have some paraffin wax, and that's what we're going to use today. And I'm just going to wax these drawers to kind of protect them a little bit and waterproof them just a little bit. Kind of basically even oil proof them, because you know, if you know anything about wood furniture or anything like that, or even your skin, your fingertips when you touch raw wood will transfer the oil from your skin onto the wood, and it will leave stains. And so that's what the waxing prevents against. And I've got my old paint clothes on. I don't really need them on today, but I put them on anyway just in case. So what I'm going to do is, and I've already put some wax on this one, but you just rub. This is regular paraffin wax as you buy it at Walmart or the grocery store in the canning aisle. Or you can use candle wax as far as that goes. But you just want to rub it, the edges, along your raw wood. And you're going to rub it both directions to make sure that it gets in the grains of your wood, because you want the grains of your wood to be completely covered. So you just rub it against the grain and rub it with the grain. And now this is not going to leave a shine on the wood unless I would happen to like buff it with a high-speed buffer or something. Then you might get a little bit of a shine. It's not really going to leave a shine. It's just going to leave some protective coating. And I've got one of the I forget what these called, tea tile. This is one I use when I just do like furniture stuff and different things like that. So I'm just going to go along the top with this and just kind of rub and try to smooth that out some. I just want a little bit of a coating on this so that whenever we use this furniture or open it, that our oils from our skin are not going to get onto the wood and stain the wood or discolor the wood, because we want kind of more of a natural, all natural antique look. And this wood is oak and it is older, so it's got a little bit of an antique finish to it or look to it, and we kind of want to keep that. And so basically what I'm just doing is rubbing my rag on this, kind of warming up that wax a little bit. The friction will warm up that wax a little bit and cause it to kind of set there. And see, that's nice and smooth. There's no kind of rough spots or anything like that on it. I'm just going to rub some of this along this edge here. That's really all there is to that. And we're about to finish this dresser up. I do have to put the hardware on it yet, but some of the hardware that she bought from Hobby Lobby didn't come with they don't come with like the little screws, so I still have to get some little screws for those. But that's no big deal. Turn this around where I can put my feet inside it. Kind of hold it together. I think this drawer needs a repair. Okay, so once again, like I said, I'm just gonna rub the wax both ways to get it all inside the grains of the wood. Of course, you can do more than one coat of this. You can do as many as you want. But anyway, this is an easy, inexpensive way. If you have some old furniture that you've sanded down and you want it to be raw wood or kind of the antique look or whatever, you can use this wax. I know a lot of people are using like the Annie Sloan waxes and stuff like that when they do, especially over like the chalk paint, and that's fine. But for raw wood, there are some waxes you really don't want to use on raw wood. It's either not good for them or it could discolor them. And also, I'll be truthful with you, if you have a dresser, an older dresser, sometimes the drawers will stick a little bit. You can't get them in or out very good. And you can use, it's an old trick, you can use soap or you can use wax like this. And you wax like the slide on the drawer. the edges on the drawer or like the slide on it, and it will cause it to slide easier. What's great about this is it's not messy. I mean, I'm doing it outside because I don't want to get wax all over my kitchen floor, because it does shred just a little bit. You'll get little pieces, but it's generally not messy. And like I said, you know, it's not necessary to really do a lot of buffing or anything either. I mean, you could just basically rub it off good, and but the more you do rub it, the more friction you get, the better the shine is on it, of course. So anyway, we're just about to finish this project up. My daughter will be happy. Okay, and I'm gonna go get the once this drawer's done, I'm gonna go get the screwdriver and drill the holes that I need to drill in the drawers, and be right back. Okay, so for the knobs on the top drawer, Kayla picked out these knobs here from Hobby Lobby. They might be a little bit on the big side, but I think they'll be just fine. And I've drilled the holes for it. Now, the one hole, I didn't really get it big enough, but I was able to screw the knob in. This one is bigger, and the knob's just going to fall in, but I'm hoping that it doesn't stay real loose. So, and then the other ones that she bought are pull. They're like cup handle pulls, antique looking ones. So yeah, that's a lot looser there. I had to screw the other one kind of in. But anyway, so let me see if I can just... Now the cup pulls did not come with screws or anything, so I won't be able to put those on today because I don't have any like nuts and bolts to put it on with. So anyway, so this is the top drawer, and I've got the hardware on. Of course, I had to measure to make sure I had it at the right place, but I've got the hardware on it, and I think it's looking really good. I don't know if I can hold it up here for you guys to see, but as soon as I get it in the drawers and the dresser, I will show you what everything looks like, and then that project will be done. So I'll be back after a while. As soon as I get screws for the other hardware. Okay guys, I'm hoping my battery don't go dead. I thought I had put the phone on the charger for a little while today, but it didn't charge up, and now my skirt's dirty. But anyway, I have the hardware, the nuts and bolts that I need to put the hardware on these last two drawers. Here's the hardware. Let me see if I can get you a close-up of it that she picked out. She got this from Hobby Lobby. It's normally $3.99 each, which is real cheap, but she got them for half off. So they were relatively $2 a piece. So that's a cheap and inexpensive thing for this. Okay, now my big thing is I got to make sure that I get it on right. And I'm just going to pull the tag off here. See how these bolts are going to work. Okay, now I got the bolts that have the rounded top on them, and they are silver, but they can be painted black. I'm going to go ahead and get the hardware on here. Let's see, probably going to have to screw these in because they're a little bit bigger than that hole. Let me get my cordless screwdriver real quick. I don't know if my cordless screwdriver is charged up good enough, but we're going to see. Be nice and snug because the holes are just about the right size, but they're a little bit small. But that will ensure that these are tight on them. Change over my bit. Hey, I hope you're still with me. I'm sorry I'm not talking so much, but I want to get this on here and get them done. Let me go ahead and get me a couple more bolts. Go ahead and drop these in my lap here. This is the more complicated part of the process simply because these drawers have never had hardware. They really don't need hardware. We're doing it for design purposes, but so that drawer is done. I'm gonna bring this other one back over here and get those on there. Okay, everybody, so I did get the dresser finished. My camera went off. My battery died when I was putting that last hardware on, but you didn't need to see all that anyway. So here's what it looks like. It's completely finished. I did go over the screw heads. I couldn't find my little paintbrush, so I didn't use paint on them, but I went over the silver screw heads with a Sharpie marker, and that worked out really well. So so you can see there that you really can't see the silver of the screw heads now. And so we're going to be doing some sort of a little makeover on my daughter's room here. So anyway, sorry I got a call during this part of the video, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a makeover on my daughter's room. I'm not going to turn the camera there. Sorry about that. So we're going to be doing a makeover on my daughter's room here in the near future, and I'll bring you along for some of those things as well. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short project, and if you did, please subscribe to Life on Turkey Lane if you haven't already done that, and share this video with all your friends and family, and come back and see me. Bye.